Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we're doing a color melt on my client here who is transitioning. She also has some relaxed hair. It's kind of a lot going on. So you guys just stay tuned. So what I first had to start doing was lifting her hair. So this is a service, once again, that is a luxury service. At first, she wanted some extremely high lift colors, like very bright neon colors, and that required her to be a level 10. And unfortunately, I had to give her some different options. Why? Because I knew that healthy wise or hair health wise, she really could not get to a level 10 without really demolishing the hair that she does have that is actually in good condition. So I am doing what we call a low and slow approach, where I'm using a very low volume developer. And if you notice, I'm actually not touching her roots. I'm only doing the mid shaft, and I'm not touching her ends because her ends are very porous. So I save those for last. Now, when you're doing lightning processes, guys, and you're a stylist, if you don't know how to advise your client and when not to do something, you definitely need to do your research on coloring, because not everything is suitable for everyone. So this is the reason why I was telling her that we definitely could not do the high lift colors, because if you notice, she had uneven lifting, which is also very normal for clients with her hair type or who are coming from level 1s and 2s. So what I did was, as a better option for her, we improvised. So I put pink at her roots just to kind of help with that line of demarcation where her lifting from her root to mid shaft was a little bit darker, because we noticed that her hair was doing some funny stuff while we were doing the lightening process in the mid shaft. So I knew not to do too high on the root area. So sometimes, like I said, guys, color can sometimes be unpredictable. It's great to do like strand tests, that kind of thing, to see how the hair will react. With African American hair, natural hair, relaxed hair, I kind of already know most of the time. My biggest concern is if they have residual color on their hair. Whereas in her hair is virgin in regards to color. But guess what, guys? We have undertones, okay? And undertones are those underlying pigments, which is a better word. That's the actual term. So underlying pigments take over. And when you're coming from a dark level, like a level 2, level 1, typically the underlying pigment is copper. So orange is the color that you have to deal with the most. And it's very hard to get out of the orange area within 1 to 2 processes. And my goal with her was to only do one process and see how high I could get her, because I know she still had that residual relaxed hair, and I was trying to preserve as much of her hair as possible on a future basis. I'm thinking outside of the box, guys, and you have to think ahead of what could possibly happen. So for her, I knew I did not want to go too high, nor did I want to leave that lightener on for too long. And I got her up to this level, but her underlying pigment, which is that orange, still shows. So instead of me going forward and trying to buy a Mercedes off of one client, which a lot of stylists do that too, guys, so be careful with that. I said, okay, let's stop with one lift. And at that point, we said we'll do burgundy and pink. So I would give her a shadow root with some pink, and then I would do like a deep ruby red on her ends, where it's going to mesh in really well because the pink actually kind of falls right into the ruby red. So I did a smudge in between just to kind of take that line out. And then I put the ruby red on her ends, because ruby red does not actually require any additional lifting. And that orange undertone actually helps to complement ruby red. So it actually worked out really, really well. So what I'm doing right now is putting that ruby red on her ends from mid shaft all the way to the end. And these are semi-permanent colors that I'm putting on. So they also work as fillers. So they're also filling in those holes and gaps that we get from the lightening process sometimes with hair that is porous or hair that really can be compromised really, really easily. So I'm using the semi-permanent to help fill that gap, but also give her some really nice color and the colors that she wanted. She wanted something different, and unfortunately, I was not able to give her the colors that she wanted because they would require her to be a level 10. But I always like to give options to my clients. So this was where we got. She's like, just be creative, do what you have to do. Honestly, I just want something different. I'm trying to step outside my box. So this is why we did it this way, because her goal is going forward that as we get her hair a little bit more healthy, we give it more time, she wants to lift higher. So I didn't want to give her dark colors like blues and greens and purples because those colors are very hard to lift from. Whereas reds and pinks, they don't take as much, and they're colors that are complementing to the colors that she wanted. So now we finished the lightening process. I did do a bond builder with her hair while I was doing the lightening process, just to protect the hair a little bit more, just for added insurance. So it came out really, really nice. She has a very slight halo of pink on the roots, but because remember her roots were not lifted very high, her roots actually just kind of, it went from a very light fuchsia and it just transitioned into that red. But red is a bully in any hair color. So when you're looking at it on the camera, you cannot really tell that it's pink. But when you're standing over her head or you're looking at her hair, you know that the pink is there. Honestly, she was very happy. I'll just say it like that. She was very, very happy because we were able to achieve a level of color, and you guys can actually see the pink there a little bit better, but we were able to achieve a level of color that would get her towards her ultimate goal because she wanted to be a very neon pink. So that's actually easy from here. We just have to work with the health of her hair. So we're trimming her ends, and this is very common when it comes to color. Number one, she was already very uneven. Number two, when we did the lightening process on her ends, the ends typically like to fry, but I made sure that the ends was actually the last area that I touched because I knew that that could possibly happen because they were so porous, and I knew that I was going to be trimming her slightly. So we did what we needed to do, but now she actually does need a trim. Number one, to even her out. Number two, to help correct those ends that were porous in the color process. And they didn't really, I'm not going to say they were burnt or they broke off or anything, but I just knew that I would need to trim her hair no matter what. And the reason why I recommended that we go this route for her is if you notice that as she's moving her hair, guys, as she moves her hair, that hair is light and silky. It moves. I did not want to fry my client's hair. When I say fry, I mean over process, which is very easy with transitioning hair. I didn't want that for her. I wanted her to be able to have that movement. I wanted her hair to still be light and airy and still appear very, very healthy, which she survived this process really, really, really well. So this made it even more simple for this color. And then going forward, I know that her hair is in great condition to go the next step where I can bring her up about 3 or 4 more levels and then give her that neon pink that she wants. So you guys keep that in mind, especially my stylists. Keep that in mind when you're giving your clients color options, because you never know when something is not possible at that time, but you don't want to hinder it being possible going forward because you can take it in steps. So we're going to complete the trim, and then it is styling time. And all we did for her style portion was just give her a really nice bump. I didn't cut her too short. I did want to make sure that we preserved as much length as we could. So I merely did a light dusting of the ends, guys. So this is really like a trim, not a cut. The cut would have been if I was taking her a lot shorter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and flat iron her. I already silked her, so all I'm doing is some extremely large sections. And then I'm using my flat iron just to give her a slight bump. She did want it a little bit straighter than the normal, so I didn't give her a lot of curl, but it's a slight bump. I just call it what it is. So you guys can watch this part of the process, and then we'll talk about the finished product. So at this point, we are finished with the styling portion of the service. So now you get to see the end result. And I want you guys to pay close attention to how her hair moves. If you're gonna get color, it needs to be moving, silky, and flowing. So all I did was spray her with a little bit of hair gloss. And then I'm using my rake just to kind of rake through, play with it a little bit so you guys can actually see exactly, the different halos of color, that kind of thing that came out. Every time you part her hair, the light hits her hair different. So I really, really, really liked her color. And then, of course, her hair, it just looks amazing. It doesn't look over processed at all because it's not. So when you're getting a color service, it should not look over processed at all. It should be moving and flowing like a feather. And her hair did just that. I love it. She loved it. I loved it. Everybody in the salon was like, oh my gosh, that color is so pretty. As she's walking out, everybody's like, oh, that color is so pretty. So she's definitely wanting to move forward and eventually get to her pink, which we can definitely get there because we've already put some segments, some programming in place to make this a very easy transition. So you guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button there. Leave comments down below on how you like this style and this color, and tell me if this is something that you would actually get, because a lot of people are afraid of full heads of these colors, especially myself. So you guys just tell me what you think and tell me some colors that you think we should do for the next service. And then I'll kind of advise and see how that goes when I talk with her. But you guys, thanks for watching. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up this video. Have a blessed one.